Picture yourself standing in the kitchen on a crisp, damp Tuesday morning. The sort where the British chill settles right into your dodgy knees before the kettle has even boiled. You look out of the window, watching the stubborn, pale grey sky, knowing that the dampness has invited itself right through the brickwork of the house. It is on mornings exactly like these that we naturally seek comfort in the quiet joy of a hearty winter stew, a rich root vegetable casserole, or a classic thick minestrone. You reach into the cupboard for a hearty bag of dried lentils, split peas, or butter beans, anticipating a deeply warming meal after a spot of pruning in the garden. You pour them into a large glass bowl of water to soak, just as you have done for decades, feeling a quiet satisfaction in preparing something wholesome from scratch. Stop right there, my dear friend. By preparing them this traditional, seemingly innocent way, you are unwittingly pouring the most vital, life-giving nutrients straight down the kitchen sink. It is rather like buying a beautiful, antique grandfather clock, only to throw away the delicate internal cogs and keep the empty wooden shell. You are left with something that looks wonderful on the surface, but entirely fails to perform its essential rhythmic duty. We are inadvertently stripping away the very compounds that our aging joints, weary muscles, and thinning bones desperately need to repair themselves. Of course, you prepare them this way, as our mothers and grandmothers taught us these exact loving kitchen rhythms, during times when food was simple and straightforward. I know how hard this is. They simply did not have access to the intricate, modern biological insights we possess today. Think about it for a moment. We spend our hard-earned pensions on wholesome foods, trusting them to nourish us. Yet we end up feeling heavy, bloated, and utterly drained of energy. There is a profound, natural workaround to this culinary dilemma. A simple adjustment involving a common household ingredient, which I will reveal at the end of our time together. First, we must understand the fascinating hidden life of the humble legume, and why it fights so fiercely against our digestion. Have you noticed how certain comforting meals leave you feeling perfectly light, while others make you want to instantly unbutton your trousers? To truly grasp why a simple bowl of homemade soup can cause such immense digestive grief, we must look at the biological purpose of a bean. A bean is fundamentally a sleeping seed, holding all the genetic potential to become a flourishing plant in the damp soil. Nature is incredibly protective, equipping this seed with a formidable armor designed to prevent it from being digested by passing birds or grazing animals. This protective armor is primarily made up of a complex sugar known as an oligosaccharide. Please do not let the scientific terminology put you off, as the reality is beautifully simple to picture in your mind. Imagine trying to maneuver a massive, awkwardly shaped Chesterfield sofa through a narrow, winding hallway in an old country cottage. It bumps into the walls, scuffs the delicate skirting boards, and causes a tremendous amount of frustrating commotion. The human digestive tract experiences that exact same chaotic friction when it encounters these unbroken, stubborn plant sugars. The body simply lacks the specific internal tools, the enzymes, required to dismantle them gracefully as they pass through. This internal struggle is precisely what we feel as trapped wind, sharp bloating, and that dreadful, heavy sensation settling deep in the stomach. We have all endured that tiresome afternoon slump, sitting rigidly in the armchair with a hot water bottle, wondering why a healthy meal feels like a punishment. We often blame ourselves or assume our digestive systems are simply breaking down due to age. Fortunately, your body possesses an elegant, built-in mechanism to begin dismantling this cumbersome furniture before it ever reaches the narrow hallway of your gut. By chewing your food slowly and deliberately, you release a wonderful, protective enzyme known as salivary amylase. This enzyme acts as a team of skilled carpenters, gently taking the sofa apart at the hinges while it is still sitting safely in the driveway. Taking the time to savor your meal, perhaps looking out at the garden rather than rushing through bites, offers immediate, profound relief to your stomach. It is that simple. You are actively pre-digesting the complex sugars, transforming a heavy burden into a manageable, gentle process. This quiet act of mindful eating is your first micro-solution to reclaiming your post-meal comfort and ensuring a peaceful evening. Yes, chewing thoroughly is a magnificent first step, but as we get older, dental sensitivities can make aggressive chewing rather difficult. If you find that thorough chewing causes discomfort in your jaw or teeth, blending your soups and stews into a smooth, velvety puree is a brilliant, gentle alternative. The mechanical blades of the blender perform the exact same dismantling work as your teeth, breaking the physical structure down to assist your digestion. However, whether you chew meticulously or blend your meals, it only solves a fraction of the digestive puzzle. The true challenge lies much deeper within the microscopic structure of the bean itself, where a far more stubborn biological vault awaits us. We must unlock that vault to extract the true vitality of the food, which is exactly why that simple pantry ingredient I promise to share later is so absolutely vital to your daily routine. Let us journey deeper into the gut, a place that behaves remarkably like a bustling, well-tended community allotment. Within your digestive tract live trillions of friendly bacteria, and they are incredibly hungry for the dense, rich fiber found in traditional British staples like peas and lentils. These microscopic gardeners work tirelessly to support your immune system and maintain the delicate, fragile inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. When the endothelium is healthy and robust, your blood pressure remains stable and your energy flows steadily throughout the day. Imagine giving your allotment gardeners massive, solid oak logs and expecting them to create fine, fertile compost for the coming spring. It is an impossible task, and the logs will simply sit there, stubbornly refusing to break down or offer any nourishment to the soil. Your gut bacteria require leaves, grass clippings, and twigs that are already softened, pre-digested, and prepared for decomposition. If the dietary fiber arrives in the stomach entirely unprepared and rigidly locked together, the gardeners simply cannot perform their life-saving work. We desperately need these blood vessels to remain flexible and strong, especially when we want to enjoy a brisk morning walk to the shops without losing our breath. The entire system is beautifully interconnected, relying completely on the proper ancestral preparation of the fuel we provide. This brings us to a rather frustrating paradox regarding how the modern food industry packages our daily sustenance, prioritizing speed over biology. Do you find that modern supermarket foods seem to lack the genuine, robust flavor of the meals we enjoyed in our childhoods? The greatest hidden obstacle to our daily vitality is a formidable natural defense mechanism hidden within every legume, known as phytic acid. Think of phytic acid as a highly secure, jealous bank vault, designed by nature to protect the sleeping seed until it is ready to sprout in the damp soil. It deliberately locks away the precious minerals, the iron, calcium, and zinc that our aging bones and stiff joints so desperately require to function smoothly. We might consume a beautifully prepared casserole, filled with love and good intentions. But if the vault remains firmly shut, those vital minerals simply pass straight through us. It is a terrible shame, my dear friend. We eat the right things, we follow the advice of the experts, yet we receive absolutely none of the intended nourishment. The body is left entirely unnourished, silently crying out for the calcium to fortify a dodgy hip, or the iron to banish that persistent afternoon fatigue. This is why simply boiling legumes straight from the packet, or opening a tin and heating it up on the stove, is a biological tragedy. A persistent, widely shared myth suggests that aggressively boiling beans for hours on end will miraculously solve the problem of digestibility and unlock these nutrients. Sadly, from a strict biological standpoint, this is fundamentally incorrect. Boiling water alone, regardless of how fiercely it bubbles on the stove or how long you leave it, does not possess the specific chemical key required to crack open the phytic acid vault. Softness is merely a culinary texture, pleasing to the palate, not a biological state of readiness for the human gut. Furthermore, many older cookbooks and well-meaning friends recommend adding a large spoonful of baking soda to the cooking pot to speed up the softening process. While this certainly breaks down the physical structure of the bean, making it mushy, it creates a highly alkaline environment in the water. This harsh alkalinity aggressively and permanently destroys the precious B vitamins hidden within the food. We desperately need those B vitamins for our daily energy, to safely ward off that dreadful mid-afternoon slump where all one wants to do is nod off in front of the television. Relying solely on boiling water or harsh baking soda is rather like trying to fix a leaky pipe by placing a larger bucket underneath it. You are entirely ignoring the actual water pressure at the source, which is the fundamental chemistry of the cooking environment. Yes, avoiding baking soda preserves your energy-giving vitamins, but we are still left with the locked vault of phytic acid and the stubborn complex sugars. This is precisely why we must change the chemical nature of the water itself, mimicking the gentle awakening of spring, using that humble pantry splash I will reveal to you in just a few moments. I know how utterly exhausting it can be to navigate the endless contradictory advice regarding what we should and should not eat in our later years. One week an ingredient is hailed as a miracle, and the next week it is vilified as the cause of all our ailments. My dear friend, it is enough to make anyone want to give up and simply reach for a plain slice of toast and butter. But we must not surrender the profound joy of a traditional British diet, nor the comforting rituals of our kitchens that have sustained us for decades. There is a deep, quiet satisfaction in preparing a Sunday roast, or leaving a hearty stew to simmer gently while you tend to the flower beds or read the morning paper. These meals are woven into the very fabric of our lives, representing warmth, family, and resilience against the unpredictable, often dreary British weather. We simply need to restore the lost ancestral wisdom of preparation, bringing the biology of the food into perfect harmony with the biology of our aging bodies. Let us take a moment to consider the magnificent variety of these ingredients, as each brings its own unique gift to our longevity. The humble lentil, for example, is incredibly rich in folate, a vital nutrient that supports our cognitive function and helps keep the mind wonderfully sharp as the years pass. Chickpeas, often the star of a comforting winter curry, provide an abundance of magnesium, which acts as a natural relaxant for tight, overworked muscles. Broad beans, a true staple of the British allotment, offer a splendid source of plant-based protein to maintain our physical strength for those daily tasks around the house. Yet, all of these wonderful varieties share the exact same biological defense mechanisms that we must carefully navigate. It does not matter if you are preparing a delicate French lentil or a robust British marrow-fat pea. The rules of nature remain remarkably consistent. The Phytic Acid Vault and the cumbersome oligosaccharide furniture are always present, waiting to challenge our digestive peace. This is why a universal, reliable method of preparation is so incredibly valuable to our daily lives. Let us consider the common, thrifty practice of soaking beans overnight in a bowl of cold tap water, right by the kitchen sink. Many well-meaning cooks diligently perform this step, only to use that exact same murky soaking water to cook the stew the following day. They mistakenly believe it contains lost flavor or valuable, water-soluble nutrients that must not be wasted, a habit born from the rationing days of our past. How did our mothers handle these stubborn ingredients when you were growing up? Biologically speaking, plain tap water only performs half the necessary job, merely waking the seed from its slumber. The water left behind in the soaking bowl is essentially a concentrated soup of leached anti-nutrients and indigestible sugars. By boiling your meal in this exact liquid, you are actively forcing the cumbersome furniture back into the narrow hallway of your gut. It is a wonderfully elegant piece of culinary science that our ancestors instinctively understood, even if they did not know the precise chemical names. We have finally arrived at the heart of the matter. The simple, profound secret that transforms a heavy, problematic ingredient into a soothing, deeply nourishing one. The biological catalyst required to unlock the vault and mimic the gentle, acidic rain of springtime is acetic acid. This magnificent compound is found abundantly in a simple, inexpensive splash of household vinegar. Whether you are using a cloudy apple cider vinegar from the health food shop, or just the standard dependable malt vinegar you sprinkle over a portion of Friday night fish and chips, the internal effect is truly magnificent. Adding an acid gently lowers the pH of the soaking water, fundamentally altering the chemical environment of the bowl. This mildly acidic environment acts as the perfect, precise key to finally unlock the Phytic Acid Vault without destroying the vitamins. It freely releases the trapped calcium, zinc, and iron into the body, where it can fortify those weary bones and repair those stiff, aching joints. Furthermore, the acetic acid actively pre-digests those awkward oligosaccharides, essentially chopping up that large sofa so it glides smoothly and quietly through the digestive tract. To achieve this, simply add 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar to a large bowl of warm water when soaking your dry beans or lentils overnight. The next morning, you must drain that murky, acidic water away down the sink, saying goodbye to all those frustrating anti-nutrients. Always rinse the beans thoroughly under a running cold tap before adding them to your cooking pot or slow cooker. If you rely on the modern convenience of tinned beans because standing at the stove for hours is simply too taxing, you can still easily apply this beautiful wisdom. Empty the tin into a sieve and rinse them extremely well under the tap to wash away the starchy, heavy canning liquid. Then stir in a tiny splash of vinegar or a gentle squeeze of fresh lemon juice just as the pan is taken off the heat. The residual warmth of your stew will gently cook off any sharp vinegar taste, leaving only the profound, life-giving health benefits behind. Furthermore, when we increase our intake of these fiber-rich foods, we must also pay close attention to our daily hydration. Fiber acts very much like a sponge within the digestive tract, absorbing water to create a soft, easily manageable consistency. If we consume these hearty meals but forget to drink enough fluids throughout the day, that sponge becomes dry and incredibly stubborn. A simple glass of water, perhaps with a slice of lemon, enjoyed alongside your meal ensures the entire process flows beautifully. As a wonderful secondary measure to ensure absolute peace in your digestive tract, consider pairing your legume dishes with warming, carminative spices. A pinch of ground cumin, a sprinkle of coriander, a dash of warming ginger, or a few crushed fennel seeds act as a natural soothing agent for the stomach lining. These spices have been used for centuries in traditional cooking to relax the smooth muscle tissue of the gut. This ensures absolute comfort as you digest, allowing you to enjoy your evening without the slightest hint of bloating or heaviness. Following a hearty, nourishing meal prepared with this newfound wisdom, I highly encourage a gentle, low-impact stroll to support your natural digestion. Perhaps take a slow, steady walk around the garden, checking to see if the daffodils are beginning to push bravely through the morning frost. Even a quiet, unhurried stroll down the lane to the local postbox offers wonderful, gentle support for your digestive system. The gentle, rhythmic movement of walking encourages the stomach to empty efficiently, guiding the softened, unlocked nutrients smoothly along their path. It does this without placing any undue stress on those dodgy knees or weary hips, allowing the body to process the meal in absolute peace. Savouring traditional, comforting British food should never come with the fear of an uncomfortable evening or a restless, bloated night. Adopting this small, quiet change in the kitchen ensures your meals leave the body feeling vigorous, light, and properly fueled for the days ahead. We have journeyed together today from the frustration of a heavy, uncomfortable stomach, navigated safely through the stubborn biological vaults of phytic acid. We have safely arrived at the wonderfully simple, elegant solution of a splash of household vinegar. Please remember, while this is trusted, traditional nutritional knowledge meant to bring you comfort, we are all wonderfully unique. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their consent. If this topic interested you, you may also enjoy my video on the gentle chemistry of boiling eggs for optimal brain nourishment. Thank you for joining me for a comforting cup of tea today. Take wonderful care of yourselves. Stay warm out there, and I wish you a beautifully comfortable rest of your day.